I was 5 years sober and my wife died. You couldn't imagine. You couldn't imagine for a second what that would be like at my young age. This was in 2012. I was making a new life. And, you know, our twin daughters at the time were 4 years old. And I had adopted just 9 months previous. I had adopted my wife's, two sons who I was the only dad they ever knew. And I had my oldest son, Aaron. And my wife had a medical procedure done, pretty routine stuff. Gave her some medication for the aftercare. And the medication lowered her sodium level, and she had a seizure, and she died right in front of me and in front of my mother-in-law. And it was noisy and dramatic, and the kids ran in the room, and I was pumping her chest and trying to revive her, and everybody's freaking out. And the paramedics finally came, and the ambulance, and took her away and immediately put her on life support. And I'm sharing this for a few reasons, okay? I realize this is a really sensitive, just topic in general, and it involves lots of people, and the ramifications of having, a young mother die is devastating. That lasts into the future for the children and for all who have, been a part of it. The reason I'm sharing this is to say that I did not try and self-soothe. I didn't. It would have been a great excuse for me to go get some alcohol. People probably would have understood why I did it. But I didn't. I went to a meeting. I stayed in community. I knew that nothing good would have ever come from self-soothing, going back to any kind of addiction. And I wouldn't have been able to be there for my kids. I wouldn't have been able to be there to work, to support, to do anything. So I went to a meeting, and I shared and I poured out my heart. And there's lots of facets to this story, this topic. It's not a story. It's a life-altering, devastating thing. She was 33 years old. And you couldn't imagine, right? Gym 4 days a week, super healthy. One day she's fine, perfectly good, and the next day she's gone. I can tell you that today, right, this is just my story. Like this happened in 2012. I've since remarried, and I'm married to a lovely, wonderful, beautiful woman. And to take nothing away from her at all, of course, but you couldn't imagine, unless it's happened to you, what this says to you. And so I'm just going to wrap it up, because I want those who are struggling out there with life circumstances that seem horrible, I got you beat. I mean, let's just be honest. I've got you beat. And so the Bible teaches us real clearly that no thing, no temptation, no circumstance will ever come on us that is too much for us to bear, because God knows who we are. And he says that he will always leave a way out. He'll always leave a means of escape for us in these situations. And so I knew that I had a good God. And he didn't take her, and I didn't blame anybody and all that stuff. But I knew that I had a good God. And I knew that no matter what, this was going to somehow, some way, in some crazy sense, someday make sense. Not saying it does. I'm saying that I chose to believe, and I choose to believe that we have a good God and we don't have to always understand everything. And so I just want to share this with you, because if you're one of those people right now who are feeling like my life circumstance is such that it only makes sense for me to go back and do this addictive thing that I'm used to, I've got you beat. You just don't have to do it. And it isn't going to make you better. And it's only going to prolong the inevitable. Hopefully this helps you. God has healing. I promise he does. He can go through everything with you. He can walk you through everything in a good and an amazing way. It's painful sometimes. I get it. But it can be done. God bless you. Have a good one.